Stephen and Timokwa Times. Today we have a very disturbing news reaching on our desk. It seems like Moses Wetangula, the Speaker of the Senate, has supported the motion of impeaching Rigathi Gachagua. So I just want to read something here where he attended the church and what he said so that we can discuss about it. National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula on Sunday appeared to support the planned impeachment of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. You know, wanasemanga speaker ni puppet wa government.
Yeah, of course.
Wa Ruto.
We don't have a speaker right now.
We don't have a speaker.
We don't have a speaker.
Okay, we're speaking at Wamunyu Catholic Church in Machakos County on Sunday today. Wetangula argued that any leader creating disunity in Kenya should be ejected. The National Assembly Speaker argued that anyone who attempts to cause chaos in Kenya should be stopped from dividing the country. And you know, they said kuna wale MPs wawili wenye walikuwa wana sponsor Gen Z maandamano. That's how they said wenye wako close na Rigathi Gachagua. So according to the government wanasema kwamba Rigathi Gachagua yeye ndiye alikuwa na sponsor how MP wanatafuta Gen Z kuandamana. And my question was these people basi kama Rigathi Gachagua ndiye alikuwa na sponsor how Gen Z wanaenda kuandamana, they should be very careful because the moment wanamwimpeach akirudi huku inza ataenda kufanya nini? That was my thought. I don't know what's your thoughts. We must know that our diversity is the source of our strength, and that's how we shall live. That's what Wetangula said. If there's anyone who wants to disrupt the peace of the nation, they should be removed because we want peace for everybody, he further asserted. His remarks followed a string of other politicians who attended the event and called for the impeachment of the deputy president. I plead with our leaders to reduce divisive politics that align people along ethnic or religious formation. Every Kenyan has a right to live on property, enjoy peace anywhere and everywhere in our country. This is the double speaking. When Gen Z walikuwa wanaandamana, hawakupewa freedom of speech, freedom of expression, they were being shot. This is double standard, double speaking. His remarks came days before lawmakers are expected to table the impeachment motion against the second in command on Tuesday. By Friday last week, inside sources privy to the matter hinted that the signatures required to cross the threshold to impeach the deputy president were nearing completion. For the motion to succeed, it must have the support of 117 parliamentarians to be introduced in parliament. Further, 233 MPs must vote to pass the motion before it is taken to the Senate. Now, wewe kama Mokua, what's your take about these things?
To be honest, right now, whatever you are saying, it is completely nonsense. All right? I'm simply saying this because when you talk of tribalism, okay, what other form of tribalism that is more tribalistic than appointing most of the government leaders or maybe positions from one tribe, while the rest are not considered? If it's tribalism, they are qualifying Gachagua for an impeachment, it's okay. But William Ruto is more tribal than him.
Very true.
So as they table the motion for impeachment of Gachagua, if these MPs are serious,
they should also table impeachment of Ruto. Yes.
So that we can have this country not having a president. The problem is that this first, second, and third are all corrupt leaders that we don't need in this country. So therefore, when it comes to the issue to do with tribalism, that should not be a ground of impeaching Rigathi Gachagua alone. It is a ground for impeachment, but not for Rigathi Gachagua alone. It should be going for those two guys who are in power right now, because they are both tribalistic. In fact, William Ruto, you know, is a pretender. Okay? Ni kama ile panya inakuuma, alafu inapuliza and usisikie uchungu. It's the same person who can appoint 13 or even 50 CSs, okay, from one tribe, and he comes and say, you know, you have to be national. I get in this. He does not care what other people think about whatever he does. Now you're coming here to say that Gachagua, whatever he does, hurts you. Now you want him out. If they're sincere, Rigathi Gachagua should go with William Ruto. If he's not going with William Ruto, then Rigathi Gachagua, they should be there. We fight them together. To pigana na wao na Marara. Because, look at this. If we speak of tribalism in this country, it cannot be an issue that it's Gachagua who is tribalistic in this country. We've had William Ruto doing things, in fact, actions speak louder than words. Whatever Rigathi Gachagua is saying is not louder than what William Ruto is saying.
I can even give you an example.
Huh?
Let me give you an example here. William Ruto appointed Churchill, our Minister of Energy. Murkomen, Transport. And Caleb Koistani, KA.
Airport.
William Ruto, Port of Mombasa. Cyrus Mutwa, Social Health Insurance, that chief, but alikuwa chairman wa Amco Insurance.
Yeah,
Amco Insurance belongs to Ruto. Now, wakati tunaongelea mambo na tribalism, unapoangalia this thing yenye nimekutajia ndio Adani wako interested nayo.
Hizo ni zenye Adani wako interested nayo.
Wako nazo. Na wenye wanasimamia ni akina nani?
If you check, not even these ones alone, most of the parastatals in the country are headed from one tribe. Not that this tribe that is being there is benefiting. No, they're the ones who are benefiting. They're just put there strategically to eat the public funds. And despite even eating the public funds, because corruption and tribalism are different things. Now, tribalism it's already shown by William Ruto through his appointment.
Oh, something. Murkomen by then alikuwa transport, akamtoa, akamweka now sports. Now sports unajua hizo vitu zote. After fix the other thing, amemweka sports. Why it's only the one tribe like inazunguka ikienda?
Why should we have an incompetent leader like Murkomen who would never brought any road in this country? He never used roads, actually going to fly all the time, becoming a minister of roads, and after that he fails and then comes up again becoming the minister of sports to head who and what for what. What are we seeing? It's just a fail and now and then. And that's why we say people think William Ruto is too smart, but I don't see that in him.
Now my question is, Moses Wetangula ana support, does it mean yeye ako very clean? Because also ako corrupt. And yeye tunajua ni puppet wa Ruto.
In fact, I'm telling you right now, our forefathers, they do talk about now and then. The likes of Jaramogi Odinga, the likes of... no, let me just talk of one forefather. Let me talk of someone like... Dedan Kimathi, the person who died for liberation in this country, who organized parliament within the forest. That's the guy I can talk about as a leader, because all these others who have died, most of them, they were selfish. Let me talk about now Dedan Kimathi. Why he is right now in the grave is standing. Because honestly, whatever the stupid things that are being done by most of our leaders in this country are really shameful. Look at what's happening in Wetangula's case, and even having the Amazon King. You know, William Ruto did not have the majority when they were winning the electoral, when the alleged win by Chibukati in 2022. Okay? They were not having the majority. He bought parliamentarians, both at the Senate and the National Assembly, okay, to win numbers. As a result, he gave his friends to head some of these dockets, like now the Speaker of the National Assembly and the Senate. These are puppets of William Ruto. There's no independent decision they can ever make. I get this. So we don't expect Wetangula to speak from a genuine perspective. Right now in Kenya, we lack leaders. We lack leaders of integrity, leaders who can think, speak, and do the same thing. Most of them are speaking this way and doing the other thing.
Opposite.
The other thing.
Yes.
So we don't have leaders completely, because I was personally, if Raila Amolo Odinga joined William Ruto.
Leave alone Raila. You remember how Joho used to say, I will never work with William Ruto.
Mwizi ni mwizi.
Most corrupt
mwizi
leader.
Ni mwizi.
And also Oparanya. Alisema yeye unless yazikwe.
We have this youthful guy called Ledamo Lekina. Yes. Wako na Ruto US. You ask yourself then, what are these leaders up to? Right now in the country, the only leader we have is Onyonka, maybe Sifuna.
And Sifuna, yes.
And now Morara.
Babu Wino.
And now Morara. Because we are talking from a perspective where we want leaders who want the better thing for this country, not only to fix what benefits them. What are we going to be proud of these people? How do they feel when Kenyans are crying while they benefit? I mean, it's a shame to have this kind of leaders in this country. I wish Uganda could have taken all of them. Wakai Uganda, as we Kenya, okay, we took out a bila leader. Or maybe I wish we could have been left to be hunters and gatherers. Kwa forest, tupande miti, kukula fruits, na kuwa wanyama na kuchoma. Because it cannot happen this kind of a generation. Leaders are always outside the country. They're seeing how countries are doing very well. When they come to Kenya, they're bringing us impeachment motion, instead of them bringing to us ideas of development in this country. We've not seen, in the current government that we're having, these leaders are having traveling allowances abroad. And some of these travelings, they should be there for official duty purposes, like benchmarking and see what is happening in that country. We have our MPs going to benchmark in Ghana, then they benchmark buying clothes, watches, and shoes, then come back to Kenya. Yet you want people to go and benchmark and borrow good ideas from Singapore and bring into this country. Now, we demand for accountability. We are told that we will go and become like South Sudan. When, okay, actually this was said by Mercy Tarus, the controversial Mercy Tarus. She was saying that very nice on TV, that whenever we want to demand for accountability, we are told that, if you are not careful, the country become like what? South Sudan. But the other way around, when they are electing, they are doing corrupt things. They are comparing us to Singapore. I mean, we need a scenario where our leaders are speaking and doing the same things. Look at William Ruto here. He tells us the team called Ford Foundation is the one funding protest.
Yes.
Going to the US,
shaking hands
and supporting. And right now, so they are starting to say, Rigathi Gachagua is the one who was sponsoring protests. I wish he was sponsoring them, so that I also get that money and buy water to get to the street. It is a shame that we have a country that is disorganized, both mentally and physically. There's no leader that we have in this country can talk of now that is a leader right now. I wish Ogola was alive, the killed one, the CDF. Because Ogola was very sober, that even if we impeach Rigathi Gachagua, impeach William Ruto, and impeach Wetangula, at least we could have someone who is sober to take over the leadership of this country until Morara gets the presidency. I get what you are saying here. Because it cannot be a scenario where we're having leaders who behave like kids. It's not really fair. It's like you don't know what you are saying. Oh, you only want things that benefit you. And this is where we are saying it now. We want the people of Bungoma to wake up. Okay? Stop supporting Wetangula. Wetangula took a stadium there. There's nothing that is theirs. People need stadiums, actually? We need just even stabilize the economy of this country. Let us have good laws and policies being passed in the National Assembly so that people can enjoy. Let us see good leadership in the National Assembly. We've had very nice loyal leaders like Marende. Marende was from another party, Kibaki was another one, but we had good leadership during his time. Kenyans felt like, wow, we have Kenneth Marende as the speaker. He was giving good leadership there. We want a scenario of that kind, where leaders give leadership, even if you've been supported by this person or that. You reach a point and say, here, I need to offer what? Leadership. But now, you're just giving statements that you don't even conform to. You're talking about tribalism. Now, you only talk about tribalism when it's convenient to your side. Meaning, at that time, either you're benefiting in one way or the other. But when other Kenyans are suffering, you don't care about that. One day, these kids will suffer. They will pay for it. They will pay for it. Because there's nothing completely that brings this country that you can be proud of and say, hey, now we had Wetangula as a speaker. I'm sure he will not be remembered. He will not be remembered because of the way they are behaving as kids. There's nothing completely we've seen Wetangula has pushed that is helping Kenyan manage. Only what is going through the National Assembly are policies that Kenyans are complaining about. Only what is passed in the National Assembly are things that to do with taxes. There's nothing that has come out of this national. And some of these people like Wetangula, they had served in the previous parliament. Some of them that did very well, including during Kibaki's time. But now look at what they're doing. Someone like Mudavadi comes up and saying, there's no Adani thing. And yet Adani is there. And you are a cabinet secretary. What is that?
Oh my God, I don't know. What's your take, my fellow Kenyans? Because hapa sisi wote tumechanganyikiwa.
No, these guys are boring.
Mwizi anaita mwingine mwizi.
Why?
Mchawi anaita mwingine mchawi.
No, let them stop this country. Wacha Mungu asimamishe.
Kila mtu apewe nini yake.
Mungu asimamishe country sisi tushuke. Kila mtu ashuke chini.
Aende kwake.
Because there's no way we can have accountability from a specific leader. We are not supporting this guy here called Gachagua. Gachagua is one of the most corrupt leaders. Most corrupt leaders. He's a tribalist, I can't deny that. But we are saying that he's not the only one.
Yes, both of them waende.
He's not the only one. Let us have William Ruto and Gachagua pack their things, one to Sugoi and one to Nyeri. Then we have now the country back to default. We start organizing ourselves afresh. Because why should they have these people in power? However, when the impeachment comes on board, there are so many options here. It's only that they are bringing some wars to distract Kenyans from what is happening, the Adani thing. People are now talking about this one. They are avoiding the Adani one and other things that we're experiencing as a country. And so William Ruto is also traveling all over. So he's trying to hide he's not traveling so that he can talk about impeachment alone. But we cannot forget what is happening in this country. And when it comes to Rigathi Gachagua being impeached, we cannot be distracted from what is happening in this country. Morara has to keep injecting. And actually, we are going to organize an inject party show here. Tunapiga show inject party. Discuss kama ni manifesto. Tunataka Morara aende kuleta pale. Because we are honestly fed up with these leaders that we are having currently. And I wish, okay, these people, all of them, the money they have stolen, their stomach bursts. Their stomachs burst all over so that we can have leaders now coming back to the senses like, okay, whatever we are stealing from Kenyans, we are eventually going to pay back in whichever way. Yes.
Wow, amazing. So Team Okoa Times and Team Cyprian hapo kwa comment section tuambie, je, una support impeachment ya Rigathi Gachagua peke yake ama una support wote wawili waende? Tutashukuru sana. See you in our next video.
Nyinyi ni wale wa ni mwizi lakini ni wetu. Mwizi ni mwizi hata akwe wa kabila yenu, si ndio? Kwani wacha niwaulize, William Ruto akiiba ni wewe umeiba? Ni wewe umefaidika? Watoto wake wakiruka na ndege na wewe unapeleka mgonjwa hospitali, anakaa siku 3 bila kutibiwa, umefaidika? Nataka niwaambie watu wa Bomet, we the young people of our country, we need change. And we want that change. We dream about it. We think about it every day. Lakini hiyo change, we are the ones who are going to bring it. Na sisi hatuna chuki na mtu, lakini we need change in our country. Kenya yetu imeibiwa sana. And we have become tolerant to mediocrity. Governor anaiba. MCS wanaiba. Ukienda kwa president anaiba. Na ministers wake wanaiba. Mpaka huyu mtu anatuuzia ukabila anaitwa Gachagua. Si ni mwizi? Akiiba alikuwa anasema ni Wakikuyu. Kwani alikuwa anaiba kwa niaba ya Wakikuyu? Saa hii anataka kuleta uhasama wa jamii akisema ati ni Wakikuyu wanapigwa. Mulima tutaguza. Na hakuna kitu watafanya. Ama kuna kitu watadu. Kuna kitu watadu. Tutaguza mulima and they will do nothing about it. Si ndio? Kwani si inaitwa Mount Kenya? Inaitwa Mount Kikuyu? Si ni Mount Kenya? Ni ya Wakenya wote. Kenya imeibiwa sana. Na ukabila inatumika kutugawanya. Tunaambiwa ati nyinyi ni Wakikuyu, nyamazeni, president ni Mkikuyu. Ati nyinyi ni Wakalenjin, nyamazeni, msiaibishe rais. Rais ni Mkalenjin. Kwani kuna faida gani rais akiwa Mkalenjin kama anatuibia? Iko faida. Nyinyi watu wa Bomet, mumeona faida ya rais kutoka kwenu? Kuna faida ya rais kuwa Mkalenjin? Barabara zote hapa ni mbaya. Ukienda barabara ya Kiogong Sigor, si mnajua hiyo? Si mnajua barabara ya Chebunyo? Si mnajua Songiroi KMTC walikula? Sasa pale ngambo walijenga governors residence. Walitenga 78 million. Tayari wamelipa contractor 45 million. Kwani governor alikuwa analala nje? Governor akichaguliwa si alikuwa na nyumba ya kifahari? Hii county ya Bomet mahali wananchi ni maskini na wanaumia, ati wanatumia 78 million kujengea governor nyumba. Ya kazi gani? Na mpaka saa hii hiyo nyumba ya governor haijaisha. Si waliweka more than 1 billion ya Bomet Mlot Water Project. Muko na maji kwa nyumba zenu? Sasa tuache kuuziwa uoga. Kenya ni nyumbani, sawa sawa. Vijana wa Gen Z tulitokea. Mimi naitwa Morara Kebaso. Mimi ndio president ya vijana wa Gen Z. Tulitokea na tukafanya maandamano. Lakini vijana wakapigwa risasi. Wengine wakauawa. Wengine walikuwa wanaokotwa kwa damu kama wamekufa. Wengine walikuwa wanatekwa nyara, wanaenda wananyongwa. Na hiyo kazi yote ni ya William Ruto. Na makosa ya hao watoto ni kusema ukweli. Hata wengine wenye waliuawa si ati ni wa kabila ingine, ni Wakale tu. Jana mimi nilikuwa Kericho. Huko Kericho walitenga 37 million in 2020 ya kujenga Kericho Green Stadium. Last year wakati wa Mashujaa Day waliweka another 400 million ya hiyo stadium, na ile kitu pekee wamefanya huko ni kupaka rangi. And they've stolen from the people of Rift Valley 437 million Kenya shillings. Na tunafaa kufurahi. Saa hii rais wetu William Ruto anaendelea kuuzia airport yetu Muhindi, anaitwa Adani, na huyo Adani ni Ruto mwenyewe. Ile pesa imeibiwa Kenya imepelekwa ng'ambo, imerudishwa hapa kwa jina ya Muhindi. Sasa airport yetu inauzwa, ati Muhindi anapewa airport for 30 years. Hiyo si ni maajabu? Hata Wakenya tu